Hello, Santa Clara. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Doug's back.
What?
Okay, go ahead, Doug. You get to do it. My bad. Go ahead.
Only gone 2 weeks.
I know. Go ahead.
Hey, folks, you're from the Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. And this is the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John, the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and Free Classifieds are all you need to know to be in the know.
Hey, you did that well. You've been practicing for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So, Doug, you seem to be in a really good mood today.
Yeah, I'm in a good mood.
Why are you in such a good mood?
Well, you know that guy, I don't know if he's a guy, actually. He's kind of anonymous, but his or her name is Jazzo?
Oh, I call it Jazzo.
Jazzo. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, the guy.
I don't know.
The guy in the Gazette who just completely rips you apart all the time?
Yeah. And I hadn't heard from him for a long time.
So he ripped you and you enjoy that and you like that stuff.
Kind of, because for once...
Is this like 50 Shades of Grey? You enjoy the abuse?
For once, I agree with the guy. Or girl.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Time out. Stop. Oh, I'm going to say this. Stop the presses. Does that have any effect?
No pun intended.
Have you ever yelled that as a newspaper guy?
Once.
Really? You have to yell stop the presses?
Well, kind of. I called him and say, hey, can you hold the presses?
Why? What happened? You forgot to
breaking story.
Awesome. All right. No, wait. Okay, so wait a minute. Stop the presses. You actually agree with Jason.
Well, in my rant the week before, I said something about that the way the government spends money reminded me of a wife who overran their credit cards and overspent, and then 2 years later she was only spending half as much as she was 2 years earlier, so she thought she was doing good even though it kept putting the family more in debt.
All right.
That analogy.
I read that one. And Jason agreed with that?
Well, he said, let's face it, Mr. Ranner, the husbands in the White House have a dreadful record with their use of credit. Maybe it's time to try a wife.
So you're endorsing Hillary. That's what. Stop the presses.
No. What I agree with him on is the president's dreadful use of credit.
You mean the husbands in the White House? I get what he's saying.
Yeah, and he said that, and he's ripping his own. Right? He's agreeing with me.
Or you're agreeing with him.
Maybe he's not even bright enough to realize he's agreeing with me.
Oh, you can't insult people's intelligence, Doug. I mean, they're
can't
writing,
if you don't know who they are.
Yeah, but you're also posting what he writes in your newspaper. And your paper.
But then he goes on to say, and I'm not saying I agree with, maybe it's time to try a wife, and perhaps she should get full credit for her anticipated accomplishments.
Well, wait a minute. Hang on a second. I read the first part, okay, and then I kind of skimmed the rest because I didn't really care what he has to say. But, very interesting point, what he was trying to rag you on was the fact that you were like husband and wife, and why does it have to be husband and wife? Yet he just said, read that last sentence again, the one you just read. Listen to this, Mr. J, so hopefully you're listening.
And perhaps she should get full credit.
Perhaps she should get full credit. You're talking about a wife. Who's to say it's a she? Really? If you're going to do gender equality, it could be he and or she. Come on, let's be fair.
That's true. I mean, that's what he ripped me at the beginning of this. That's what he ripped you about.
Yeah, exactly. Be consistent.
What did he call me? A chattel or something? I don't
know. No. You were using a term of chattel.
Oh.
It means personal property. Like he's probably he ragged on you earlier for like women having to change their last name or opting to change their last name to their husband's name, like a piece of chattel.
Right.
Not cattle.
Right.
Although there are some
easy.
I'm not getting into that. No. Whew.
But it's obvious. One thing I have to disagree with him. It's obvious he wants Mrs. Clinton to be our next president.
Well, it wouldn't be bad. Hear me out. I know. Listen to the silence. Doug, come back in the room. It wouldn't be bad because all this stuff would go on and we would never know about it. It would be like the secret president. Our lives would be the same and all this dirty, nasty stuff would just kind of like float by and we wouldn't care.
Because she's so excellent at keeping it under wraps.
Exactly.
Yeah, what have you heard about the email scandal lately?
Thank you.
What have you heard?
Nothing. Of course nothing.
It went away.
Of course. She learned very early on to become a Teflon president. You know something? Have you ever watched that TV show Scandal? Okay.
Once.
They have a fixer that comes in and fixes and spins. Wag the Dog, that movie. That's what Mrs. Clinton has. That's what the Clintons have. They probably have the same person. I would want you to guess. I would love to see somebody do some investigative reporting to see who their publicity manager is.
You ever watch that show, The Good Wife?
No.
Oh, never mind.
I really don't watch it.
It's a lawyer show.
Oh, that makes it so much better. Hey, did you ever watch the Lou Grant show? It was a newspaper show. Actually, I don't know, wasn't it? Has there ever been a newspaper show?
Yeah, that was close. There was. It was pretty good.
There was?
Yeah.
What was it? Leave It to Beaver was not a newspaper show, Peter. Was there ever a newspaper show?
What?
The reporters do.
No, Lou Grant was the closest thing.
That was a
there was to a newspaper.
That was a newspaper show.
It was an LA paper. And
wow, what a great pull! Yeah. This is like old TV Jeopardy.
Right.
I'd be winning that one. No, I mean now we've just discredited JSO.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows.
I would love to have him either on the show or respond in writing.
Well, if I knew who he or she is,
we can protect your identity,
right.
JSO. We're calling you out on the radio right here, right now.
It strikes me as very ironic that somebody that's so far left is afraid to use their real name they won't send a. I've asked them to send a picture because we like to publish photos of people writing op-eds in the newspaper.
Yeah,
and
nothing. It's I can see you ragging on people. There's a lot of things I disagree with you on, and I've ragged on you for a number of years. But at the end of the day, at least the arguments are consistent. And I'm going to pick on you for being inconsistent.
When?
As soon as you are.
Right now?
Yeah, actually all the time. Every time I have a problem with you, I point out your inconsistencies.
Do I agree with you?
Eventually when you go, yeah, you're right, John. When you realize who you're
I don't remember ever saying that.
It happens all the time, doesn't it, guys? Everybody's. Yeah, it does in John's world. But no, if you're going to put something in writing and rag on somebody like he ragged on you, and then not be consistent, wife she, maybe wife he, maybe wife it. You never know. Let's be gender neutral.
Whatever.
All right.
Whatever.
Hey, we had nothing else to talk about. All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio.
I do not want Hillary Clinton to be president. I'm going on record.
Although it would be great because we would never know about it.
Yeah.
All right, you're listening to Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS.
More ways than one.
Santa Clarita's hometown station.
Welcome back, everybody, to Santa Clarita's hometown station, AM-1220 KHTS. It's the Gazette Radio Hour. We come to you every Friday at 2 o'clock. It's the radio digest version of the Santa Clarita Gazette and Free Classifieds. John, introduce our guest.
Should we stand up? I feel like we should be standing.
No, I have a bad knee.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll stand up and lean to the left or lean to the right. All right. Anyway, we're graced by the presence, over the phone at least, of City Councilman Dante Acosta. Mr. Councilman, thank you for being on today.
Well, my pleasure. I'm glad I'm on the phone because if I was on camera, everybody'd see that I just spilled half a bucket of water on my tie. I looked like I don't know what happened here, but anyway.
All right, so you guys have been busy, haven't you?
Thank you. Thanks for noticing, actually. We have been a little bit busy.
Well, anytime you can see more than 2 stories about the City Council in any of the newspapers, especially the Gazette would have 3 stories. The other newspaper would probably have like a small snippet. Not that I'm insulting anybody, but there's a lot of things going on. I mean, the red lights. Let's talk about the red light lights, the red light cameras.
Yes, sir.
Gone, huh?
Red light camera's gone. We voted to go with option 3 or door number 3. You know, we got rid of the cameras. The contract with Redflex ends at the end of the month, so we'll be taking down those red light signs, and the cameras will be gone sometime later. It depends on the vendor to get rid of them, and then. But of course, no tickets will be issued after March 31st, except for by our able-bodied local law enforcement.
Yeah, those things are
scary.
A conundrum because there's public safety concerns both for and against.
Yes.
You said I forgot the name of the company. It was Redflex.
Redflex.
Just, I was like, hey, is it $7.99 a month? No. It was considerably more than
$9.99 a month now. Anyway, by the way,
it was for the HD. Anyway, no, it seemed like to me there's legitimate concerns about safety on both sides, and then you look at the income, and it's not really there for anybody in the city. That's for sure.
Well, I wasn't trying to be flippant about it, but when you look at the return for our taxpayers, you could say, well, at least when you get a $490 ticket, at least we are going to put that to good use and more law enforcement, public safety, clean up the streets, build parks and roads. But the state alone gets more than half of that money.
Yeah, that's probably.
And then the county gets their cut and everything else. So it really, from that standpoint alone, I can't see taking $490 out of our residents' pockets. Now, I want people to be safe out there, and when they see a red light, make sure they slow down, they stop ahead of time, and not hurt anybody. But I don't think this is the right approach.
My only concern is when you see these idiots, as your light turned greens and you're starting to go through the intersection, and the guy takes a left right in front of you. Mm-hmm. And I think that those lights kind of stop that from happening as much. That's my only concern.
They've got nothing to do with it. How is the camera going to take a picture?
No, because it was no. I'm saying it was a deterrent to people doing that.
I think you have a valid point. I think my question was, how many fatalities did we have prior? We had 0. We had 12 serious incidents and serious accidents that we accidents. English is my first language, believe it or not. We had 12 accidents prior, and we still have a lower number of T-bone, I call them T-bone type intersections, accidents, but we also have a big spike in the rear end accidents, which tend to be a little less severe, but severe nonetheless. But my question was to staff, et cetera, is, hey, is this going to stop the flagrant violators? Is this going to stop someone, the red light cameras that is, from who is not paying attention or who is impaired, drunk, high, whatever? Are they going to stop for a red light camera or without a red light camera? And it's not going to make any difference. It was the point. And I was trying to be, it was a little obvious. It was one of those, completely obvious questions and answers. But I think that's really what we have to look at are taking these cameras out going to do anything to the flagrant violator? No, there's still going to be flagrant violators. So watch the intersection before you pull through it. See if there's somebody who's going to just run into you. I guess is one of the answers.
Drive safe.
Right. So the other item you guys, the council talked about Tuesday night was the cell phone towers, correct?
Well, specifically the LA RICS system. So what we did with that is we made a request for this system to not be put in near homes, etc. Now, for people to understand, we do not have the option of pulling out of LA RICS. We do not have the option of saying you can't build those within our city limits. The county has the preeminent right on their property to go in and put up a tower that they feel they need for communications. And by the way, this is interoperable communications throughout the county in case of natural disasters, etc. We did make the request that to send a letter to the County Board of Supervisors saying that we're opposed to the construction of these towers anywhere within the city of Santa Clarita, and adopt a resolution and formally withdrawing the city as a member of the RICS Joint Powers Authority. Right. But again, that doesn't do anything to the county if they come in and still do what they want to do.
Well, Councilman, I want to quote Laureen West from the other night. She said, "It seems to me that RICS put the city of Santa Clarita in an unconscionable position, and I'm appalled." Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, I'm not sure I would use exactly the same words, but I would say that the county not notifying us that this was even happening, we had no way, and the residents had no way of voicing our concerns and petitioning our government, if you will, and saying, hey, we don't like this. What are the options?
Work with us a little bit.
And so I think that's really what happened. When you're caught flat-footed, and the first thing you hear about it is people coming up in your meeting and saying, by the way, they're building these towers, they've built these towers, what are you going to do about it? We're like, I don't know. Well, what are you talking about? So
exactly.
That's what she meant, I think.
All right. Hey, Councilman, we're up against a break. Can you hang on? We'd love to talk to you a little bit more. We got some other issues to talk to you about.
For you, John, absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Not for me, though.
It's one of my favorite city councilmen, one of 5. You're in the top 5. Doesn't that make you feel good?
I'm in the top 5. Thank you very much.
All right. You're listening to Gazette Radio with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Clarita's hometown station. We'll be right back with the Councilman Dante Acosta.